and edged and brilliantly taken, so the plan has worked.
The battle between South Africa and India takes centre stage again this weekend as the tourists look to level series 1-1 at SuperSport Park in Centurion. Both teams are expected to make changes to the teams that did duty in Newlands. Unlike the Proteas, India do not have any injury concerns, but judging by how Virat Kohli has done things in the past, there will definitely be a change of personnel. The Indian skipper has not played the same team in consecutive matches in the 33 matches he has captained. It will not change now, as the Indian public have been calling for opener Shikhar Dhawan to be dropped, along with fellow top-order batsman Rohit Sharma. The former did not take part in India's net session on Thursday. That was seen by many as evidence that the 32-year-old will indeed be dropped. KL Rahul is expected to open the batting alongside Murali Vijay, with Ajinkya Rahane coming in at number 5 for the out-of-favour Sharma. In as far as the bowling is concerned, Jasprit Bumrah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Hardik Pandya will feel they did enough in Cape Town not to be dropped for the experienced paceman Ishant Sharma. Bumrah, though, on Thursday reminded all in sundry that the conditions can be unpredictable, as his skipper Virat Kohli.
Yeah, because sometimes you know that the wicket over here sometimes is bouncy, but as soon as you play the test match, you see it's a flat wicket, so you have to adapt accordingly. So this is my basic plan always. So never go by perceptions that this will happen, this won't happen, because nowadays anything can happen anywhere. So day by day, learn from every session which you have, every experience which you have, and analyze and go forward.
There is an evident sense of confidence in the Proteas camp. Perhaps the win in Cape Town or the fact that a clean sweep against India will see them get back to that #1 spot in the test rankings could be the reasons for the positive buzz in the squad. Lungengidi has been called up to the squad as a replacement to the injured Dale Steyn, but if what Faf du Plessis said on his pre-match press conference is anything to go by, Chris Morris might just get the nod ahead of Ngidi or even Andile Petlugwayo.
Right now I look at Mori as definitely a fourth seamer replacement. So if you pick 4 seamers, Mori can be in that 4 seamers. Consistently wise, I feel he's got a little bit more to do in terms of being a 3rd seamer. You know, if you play 3 seamers, you will consistently have to be on the money. Vernon, Mornay, KG, Dale, those guys are a step above, but definitely as a 4th seamer. So if you play 4 seamers, he's always someone that gets talked about because he's got pace, he's got X factor, and obviously he bats as well. So he's a good all-round player.
When the Proteas went to India in the summer of 2015, they were met with flat, dusty pitches. Skipper Faf du Plessis is not shy to admit that the Proteas will return the favour this series with lively green tops.
For me, the key thing is pace and bounce. But if there was a bit of grass on it, then that's fine because, as I said, we back ourselves. If it was a low-scoring game, we'd want to get 20 or 30 or 50 more, which will happen in Newlands. As you can see over there, there's not a lot of green grass. So I expect a good cricket wicket and hopefully a bit of pace and bounce.
A lot was made about this series being a bad battle between AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli, but Faf was quick to remind us that the game is bigger than the 2 individuals.
Anyone that gets judged on being the best in the world, whether it's a bowler, batsman or a team, I feel you should get judged on playing all around the world.
Outplayed in the opening test, India will have to resolve a few selection puzzles and respond better to the sharp bounce if they are to level the series. It is do or die for the visitors who have won 9 series on the trot. For the Proteas, a victory at Centurion will see them seal an all-important series as they continue to gain ground towards the summit of world cricket. Kurisone Marimela, ANN7 Sports, SuperSport Park, Centurion.
Good evening and welcome to Game 1. My name is Khotso Sello, bringing you the latest news and updates in the world of sport. Well, as you know, the show is very much interactive, so do feel free to hit us up on Twitter at ANN7_sports, or alternatively, my personal Twitter handle at KJ Sello. Well, as you can see, it's the build-up to the 2nd test between South Africa and India, and joining me is an esteemed cricketing panel. On my far end, I've got Lunga Kupisa from would you like to introduce yourself, Lunga?
Cricketing world.
The cricketing world. The cricketing world knows him very well. A very astute freelance journalist and no stranger to Game On. And of course, we've got Shub, all the way from HT Media in India. Shum, welcome to Game On.
Thank you, thank you.
Lunga, let's start with you. South Africa, with the momentum coming into this test as the favourites, of course, with that fearsome four-pace attack. Do you feel that they can unleash these boys and do the business here up in Centurion?
Oh, it's their favourite hunting ground. Sorry, my friend, not good news for you, but it's one of their favourite hunting grounds, and we've seen in recent times, every time they come in here, they really, you know, do the visiting teams, visiting nations dirty. So it will be nice to see. It will be a good contest. The field looks nice. We're talking just about it now, how nice it looks. And you know, you were reminiscing of that famous Mitchell Johnson spell when he took South Africa apart. So we'll be hoping that Kagiso Rabada, the newly ranked #1 bowler in the world, will be tearing you guys apart. We've got Monemokel as well. And then I don't know, are we going to go with the 4-prong attack, or are we just going to go with 3 guys? I don't know. But I can tell you one thing's for sure. The pace bowlers are going to have fun. It's Centurion after all.
Shum, before the series started, there was a lot of talk about India trying to make right their record in South Africa. They don't have a very good record in this country, but they put up a good fight in Cape Town with a few youngsters putting their hands up with the ball. Do you feel that that momentum coming from Cape Town, they'd feel that have a shot chance in Centurion?
Well, you can't have a momentum after a defeat. But yeah, they have some positives from that test match. Mainly from the bowler's perspective. But I think the batsmen need to get their act together, especially the senior batsmen. I think Pujara led the way. That first session was very important to just go through the motions and see off the attack. But one lapse of concentration, first ball after lunch, I think that hit India very hard. So the positives for India right now is that bowling lineup looks good. I was a little surprised with the selection of Jasprit Bumrah, but the guy really, he really justified the selection with his second innings bowling. First innings he was a little fuller, but overall it's been a good performance by the bowlers, but not from the batsmen.
Shuma, I'm going to ask you the selections once again. You know, a few eyebrows raised that Ishan Sharma, you know, very experienced bowler, tall man, you know, he can extract a lot of bounce from the surface. Were you guys just as surprised that he didn't get a starting berth?
I was. This is his third tour here, I think. And with his height, he's got natural bounce, right? So, and this guy, Ishan Sharma, is capable of bowling long spells, like 10, 12 over spells. You need someone to bowl that kind of spells to just keep the pressure on the batsman for some time. I think where India missed the trick maybe is to not bowl enough. I mean, in longer spells, there were 6 to 7 over spells, but maybe one person from one end, 10 over spell, and you have the other bowlers coming in and bowling shorter spells. I think that could have done the trick maybe.
Lunga, I want to rope you in here. South Africa going with 6 batsmen and 4 bowlers. Nowhere to hide for anyone. Do you feel that the coach is going about it the right way in saying the bowlers need to do their bit and the batsmen need to do their bit, and there's no one needs to hide behind anybody?
Yeah, well, look, if you get selected to represent your national team, you need to bring the performance. I'm sure you'll agree from an Indian's perspective and from a South African perspective as well. Sorry, it remains the same. If you're going to be in the team, you need to deliver. There's no room to hide for anybody, especially in that last test match. I felt everybody was exposed, and you know, there were moments in the game where it just, if you were on the crease, whether batting, whether you were chucking with the ball, you were dependent on, you know, your side dependent on you. And at the end of the day, I guess if you look at that first test match, it was the South Africans that really stood out and said, you know what, we'll actually stand tall to the task. It will be interesting to see how they go with the selection here, whether they're going to go 6-4 or they're going to go 7-3. Perhaps for India, they'll have to go and revisit their selection. As we've just mentioned, Ishan Sharma, for me, I feel, is somebody that could get something really out of this deck. Because if you know the history of Monemokel on this ground, how Kagiso Rabada took, I think it was 13 wickets in the last test match here. So those 2 quicks can get those kind of performances here. Then you don't want to go without Ishan Sharma. And also, just because the first test match was wrapped up in 3 days, does not mean this one one is not going to go for 5 days, then as you say, somebody who can, you know, give you that 7 to 12 over spell, then it's going to become important. It was a little bit disappointing as well with the selection from a South African perspective on who gets dropped and who doesn't get dropped, but that's a topic I'd rather we don't revisit, otherwise we'll be here until the sun sets.
Lunga, we've just been speaking with Shum here, you know, giving the Indian young bowling attack a glowing, you know, review. But do you feel that the South African batting lineup perhaps underperformed because they perhaps maybe underestimated the Indian attack?
I don't think they would have underestimated your side, but it was just a matter of, you know, both sides went out to bat, and actually both sides with the bat didn't bat as well as they would have liked. India wasn't the India that we've seen in the last year when they were playing at home. South Africa wasn't the usual South Africa that we've seen, even though we didn't get some favorable results, but still we were able to bat for long hours. I mean, what were we, 13 for 3 wickets inside the first 5 overs? That's something that we haven't seen in a while. Yeah, you lose that quick wicket, second quick wicket, but never 3. So both sides didn't really bat well, and I don't think it's a thing of underestimation. It was just conditions of the day, and the bowlers really bowled well. And I felt the Indian bowlers actually really bowled better than the South African bowlers.
I'll slightly differ with him. I think the difference in the first test was that 114 run partnership between AB and Faf. India didn't have anything to show for. I mean, like that partnership. And after the test match, Virat Kohli said that we don't need huge partnerships, but maybe 35-40 runs for every wicket could have made a difference. Like 114 runs, you know, a partnership in a match that they won by 72 runs. You know, you get the story, right? India need to get at least a 60-70 odd partnership.
Do you feel they were not aggressive enough, sir?
No, I don't think so. See, it depends, it varies from person to person, batsman to batsman, and like I think we have a pretty balanced batting lineup. Murali Vijay can be is a very attacking batsman, but he also leaves the ball very well. So you need to give the batsman that time. And we must not forget that this is a 5-day test match. You have sessions to bat out. One bat session can be compensated in the next session. I think, you know, again, on that day, India were batting really well. In the first session, you know, not many runs scored. But in the second session, they set up really nice. I mean, they could have scored a lot of runs, but things didn't go their way, yeah.
Lunga, a lot was said that the Indians came here late and didn't have enough time to acclimatize to the conditions. Is that just excuses?
Just excuses. I mean, you guys, we all know Cricket South Africa extended an invite long ago, and it took so long for the visiting nation to actually confirm that they were coming. At some stage, we weren't even sure whether they were coming or not. So that is all up to them. Perhaps you could, you know, help us understand what was the reason behind them arriving so late.
I'm a little confused as well. You know, they were talking so much about preparing well, and then they opted out of the only practice game. Then, you know, it's a little confusing from the captain's point of view. I thought that they should have played the match, you know, just to get the combinations right, just to get a feeling of a competitive match.
On honeymoon, man.
Well, I won't comment on that one. But I think it was too close. Playing Sri Lanka at home before the South Africa series is not the best preparation.
Of course.
It can't be the best preparation, yeah.
Lunga, coming into this test, Dale Steyn out with the heel injury. Now there's all these speculations about who would come in, and I think a guy like Lungi Ngidi is a natural response to this question. Do you feel that Ngidi is the man to go with, or do you feel maybe Morris with the experience?
Well, once again, it all depends. What is Otis Gibson wanting to get out of either man? Morris, he's born and bred in with the Bizarre Highveld Lions at the Wanderers, so he'd be more acclimatized to that ground. Lungi Ngidi is born and bred here at the Titans Centurion, so he will know this ground very well. He'll know where to get out. Fantastic domestic season in the last season, and also this one. He's really done well, bouncing back from injury and made it look like he was.
But doesn't he look good? You know, he's shed some weight.
Physically, he looks strong. I mean, we were watching him just coming from
21,
and he's also somebody that can get really good bounce, and he's high up there on the 140s as well, so he can get good pace. Oh man, how good would it be to get Kagiso on the one end, Lungi from the one end, just pipping you guys, you know, chin music.
And how much do you guys know about this Lungi Ngidi that has been spoken about?
We've just come to know about him now, and I saw him yesterday. As I said, he didn't look 21. He's really, he's big. He's big, and I think, you know, with Otis Gibson, I think saying that they want to play 4 pacers throughout the summer, I think that hints towards his selection. And I don't know. I mean, like, South Africa took a calculated risk in the Newlands Test. Why not here? I mean, he's an unknown bowler.
And if you also look at it, Morris is 30 years old, Lungi is 21. He'll give you, you know, more years under the belt. Do you feel that, trust him now, let him go, and he'll repay you later?
If I was a selector, I'd probably go with the safest one, which is pick Morris, extra better, and also bowler. He's got experience in the game, and also he spent the last 3 seasons here now at the Titans, so he's also acclimatized to the ground. Win the series, now we go to the final match. Then I give Ngidi an opportunity to go. Now I'm saying to Ngidi, from this match you build up the rest of your test career. But first, we've got to wrap up the series.
Shum, Otis Gibson is a guy from the West Indies. He grew up in an era of fast bowling attack, and he's of the school of thought that if you have a fearsome bowling attack that can get you 20 wickets, you can win a test match. Do you concur with these words?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you have it, flaunt it. I always believe in that, and I think I've spoken to a lot of people, former players as well. I spoke to Alan Donald as well. Most of them are of the opinion that this is one of the best bowling attacks right now. I don't want to compare them with the West Indies quartet or the former South African bowlers, but this is one of a kind attack, and I think that they should persist with it.
And Lungi, just looking at a guy like Aiden Markram, you know, he'll also be at his home ground. Got his test career off to a blistering start. Had a bit of a hiccup in Cape Town. Do you think batting in front of his home crowd, former Pretoria Boys High student, you know, he'll want to perform?
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest, which batsman didn't struggle other than Pandya in the last test match? So I don't think, if you look and you sum up that test match, he won't really beat himself up, even though he'll, you know, have a stern conversation with himself performance-wise. It's home ground advantage. This is his home ground. He's got his old boys club just down the road. You know, this is his favorite place to be. He's going to come. He's going to want to produce the results. Now, he has to be careful though, because on the same tone, just because you're at home does not mean things become easy. In fact, there's a little bit more pressure on him now to perform, especially coming at the back of the last performance. So it will be really incredible. And I remember in one of the episodes we did, we said the true test is when India comes and how Aiden Markram does. Then we can judge whether he's ready for test cricket or not. Now this test match is beautifully poised because he didn't perform well in Cape Town. He's put himself under pressure personally, not that South Africa is putting him under pressure. Personally, he's put himself under pressure. And man, how beautiful will it be if he stands tall and he says, you know what, here's a century for the ground that is, you know, has given me the cricketing career that I have now.
Shum, just as someone who's been in and around the Indian camp, you know, from Cape Town all the way here, what's the feeling? What's the mood? Do they feel like they have something and they can surprise South Africa right here at Centurion?
Definitely. See, the difference about this team is that they're supremely confident about their abilities. It is not as if they are overjudging themselves. They know what they're capable of, and they want to prove that. See, this team has come on the back of 9 consecutive series wins. I know most of them have come at home. So that is an added incentive for this team to perform well here. I don't think they will sulk about the loss in Cape Town, but I think they're looking forward to this test.
What aura have you seen? What aura are they bringing the Indians up here? Do you feel they're quietly confident and not just, you know?
No, it's never been an Indian's man to be quietly confident. You can see just the way they walk. They feel like they're at home. They trust themselves as a unit. Even when they speak at the press conferences, you know, they don't speak as a team that's really trailing behind. Even if you go back to Newlands before the test series started, they didn't speak like a team that didn't have preparation. They spoke like a team that really has confidence in their side. Even when they're training, you know, they're enjoying themselves, you know, they're not dropping heads. So they look like a confident side. And why wouldn't you be confident? You've got Vijay, you've got Pujara, you've got Virat Kohli in your side. I mean, your bowling attack is just as good as one of the top 4 playing test nations. So why wouldn't you be confident? They've got every right to be confident.
When was the last time you saw Indian pace bowlers this happy, you know, willing to grab the ball, licking their lips at playing on such beautiful fields?
I think Lords, but that was 3 years back. Yeah. See, the thing is that we don't get pitches like this. Yeah, exactly. So it's all back at home. It's always Ashwin and Jadeja, you know, who rule the roost. Like they have a lot of experience going into the tracks that they know. They get the spin. So the seamers, especially, they don't have this kind of pitch there. So I think they will be quietly confident as he said, and I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar will again be relied upon, and if Ishant Sharma makes it to the team, his bounce should matter, I think.
The last match ended in 3 days with one day being rained out. Yeah. There's been talk of having 4-day test cricket. Does that myth now resurface?
Depends on the teams really. With the advent of T20 cricket, we have more fast-paced games. The teams are scoring more nowadays. You just need to take a step back and look at it from a traditional point of view. Yeah. You need to play out time sometimes. Yeah. It's not just wham bam cricket. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Cricket. It's not like that. And I think India paid the price once already in this series. They would be well advised to just keep their calm, apply themselves for some time, and let's see after that what happens.
Yeah. You win the toss, what do?
You win the toss. If you're South Africa, it's your favorite hunting ground. You've done well in the previous series. I'd say chuck first. But Faf du Plessis is a very he's a bit weird in his decision makings. He doesn't want to go with the norm, with the standards. So he backs his side. Like we saw in Cape Town, everybody thought South Africa win the toss, you're going to bowl first. They said, no, we're going to bat. So maybe they could also bat. But I'd say bowl first. Just take India out the series completely.
Why bowl first, Lunga?
Because we've got the bowlers to back ourselves up. We saw India actually came and they bowled just as good as the South Africans. They were swinging the ball where they could swing the ball. They were bouncing the South Africans far more than the South Africans actually bounced them. Now it's time for South Africa to stand up and say, wait, hang on guys, you can't play like you're back in India. This is South Africa. Ngidi, here's the ball. Morris, here's the ball. Chuck in a few short ones there, let's get a taste of that chin music. Kagiso, here we go, But
put them on the back foot as early as possible.
Put them on the back foot, and I mean, India is touring. They can't be playing in South Africa like they're in home conditions. No, it can't. No, it can't happen like that. And I know we want to bet because we haven't betted in our previous series. I mean, Zimbabwe was wrapped up in 2 days. Bangladesh didn't really last long. And even if you rewind to the previous one, even Sri Lanka wasn't that long. So I know what Faf's thinking is. I want to bet so that when Australia comes, we've had a really good series, and our betters are there. But hey, man, let's win the series and then we can worry about that.
Shum, you Virat Kohli, you win the toss?
Bat first.
Yeah. Based on?
Based on our batsmen. Yeah. I mean, see, batting first, you know that even if you get 250, you have the bowlers to back up. You have the bowlers to defend that. Like he said, this is probably the best Indian bowling lineup to tour South Africa. So why not bat first?
Yeah. And in terms of fitness, do you feel the Indian players are fit enough, to drag out the 5 days in the heat of South Africa?
Thank the IPL for that. This is a supremely fit team. And I think Virat Kohli is leading that revolution in the dressing room. Yeah. The mindset has changed. It's not just only batting, taking a few knocks, throw downs and then going back. It's not like that. You have to slog it out. You have to sweat it out. This is a much more fitter team.
South Africa in the recent past has had problems with dropped catches, and we saw Pandya making them pay down in Cape Town. Do you think it's something they need to work on? Is it a psychological thing? What's happening there?
Yeah, look, they've dropped, certainly their standards have dropped on the field, and South Africa was known for the last 4.5 years, I'd say, comfortably as the best catching side in the world. You know why? Because they went out, they got a fielding specialist to come and work with South Africa for that time, and they said, you make sure we are the best catchers. He's somewhere in the world, and once again, that's something that visiting nations are happy about, is that some of our best talent from the past times, as South Africa, we don't recruit. We always go outside. I mean, you know my thoughts and commentary on the appointment of Otis Gibson when we could have looked internally. So sometimes that becomes a hit and miss. But it doesn't have to be a Jonty Rhodes. Just get somebody who's a fielding specialist to address that. And I mean, Pandya, 95 runs. That means that test match could have been wrapped up,
He was the difference.
He was the difference in that innings. He really was. He was the difference.
I'll just chime in. India have got a similar problem. Like we have appointed Zahir Khan as our overseas bowling consultant for 150 days. Okay, where is he? We have appointed Rahul Dravid as our batting consultant. He's with the under-19 team in New Zealand for the World Cup. So where are the consultants? Where is the experience? So it's basically what we have right now. This management headed by Ravi Shastri. We only have this, nothing else.
You have Anil Kumble, so I saw Anil Kumble, but he's a spinner.
Well, Anil Kumble was the coach, right? And his exit was not the best. No, not the best way. It was not dealt in a really. It's not befitting his stature. So well, we need to learn how to deal with our former cricketers, our legends. But yeah, I mean, like, we have what we have now. I mean, like, 1-0 down, we need to win this test match, as simple as that. Yeah.
But surely you can't, surely you can't have just two guys, your ex-legends, as consultants. And now I'm not only addressing the Indian side as well, I'm also addressing the South African side as well. We can't say we only have two ex-legends to be consultant to the side. If two are going with the under-19s, we still have 11 from a specific team that surely fit the criteria because they've done it at the test level to go with the other teams.
But there's also a thought that there might be too many cooks. You never know. You never know. You never know what the team is thinking. See, it's always team first. It's always the captain first, and then the rest of them. So you also need to know what they are thinking. Right now in India, we have too many people thinking and deciding about cricket.
And the Indian fielding standards, are you happy with them?
No.
Are you feel?
I'm not. Yeah, that's true. Especially in the slip region. I mean, like, we don't have slip specialists. Shikhar Dhawan standing in third slip, and then changing to gully. I don't think, I mean, Ajinkya Rahane, he's one of the best close-in fielders, but he's not playing. So I think we have a massive problem. We are trying to make the players jack of all trades and master of none. I think that is a huge problem for us, huge problem for us. We might be saying that we need specialists, we are banking on specialists, but I don't see them. I don't see them, yeah.
Shuma, as a foreigner watching the South Africans train, do they seem like they're in the zone? They seem like they're focused? Do you feel like they want to give their fans something special?
They're at home. First of all, they're at home. They look invincible. I think they've played good cricket without batting well. But yeah, I mean, like, this is a top side. I mean, this is the #1 versus #2 battle. It doesn't get better than this. But yeah, I mean, I think probably this test match we might see both the sides improving a little bit, getting the standards a little raised maybe. I think this should be a good test match, yeah.
Guys, in wrapping it up, do you feel South Africa is going to take it, or do you think India are going to cause us a surprise? And same question to you quickly. Let's start.
For the sake of the series, for me it would be lovely if we could draw this test match. Now we go into the last one, and whoever wins it, they're obviously safe. Yeah, drama is nice, also. Drama is nice. Then bowlers have to stand up, batsmen have to stand up. But I do agree with him. I think we will see a 5-day, if not a 4-day test match, because the Indians are going to come back.
Who are you giving it to?
South Africa.
India, if they get the selection right, they need to get in KL Rahul, they need to get in Ajinkya Rahane, they need to get in Ishant Sharma, at least, to win this test.
You know what's the problem with the Indian side? They've just got too many players on this series. They should have just said, 13 guys, here we go. It's either you're going to make it or you're not going to make it.
Sorry, gentlemen, unfortunately we have to leave it there. Well, that's all the sport that we've got for you right here on Game On. Join us again on Monday, same time, same place, from myself, Khotso Sello, and the rest of the team. Good night.